Hey guys, remember to like the video and hit subscribe.
If you're a right-wing person in this country, you must be elated for any number of reasons. One, like obviously, they control the Senate, the Congress, the House, they control the presidency, they have a majority on the Supreme Court. Like it's a great time for your worldviews generally. The right is ascendant globally. I mean, it's a great time, right? Surely if you're right-wing, right? And I'm not, but I'm going to guess here. You must be looking at the Democratic Party and looking at just how pathetic they are. How pathetic they are. Did you guys see the Choose Your Fighter video that they put out today? Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Like, look what Bernie does. Look at his dude. The response from whatever her name was to the State of the Union, where they're like, Reagan wouldn't have done this. Bitch, who are you talking to? Like, who is this for? Who is this for? We're lionizing Reagan, for crying out loud. What are we talking about here? Oh my god! Contrast that with Bernie's message in particular, and then more especially this oligarchy tour where he's going and it's like getting huge crowds and like rave reviews, and people really are plugged in and tuned in. Like, dude. Like he is leveraging whatever, again, they control the government, but whatever minimal tools he has to advance his worldview, right? And to make a case to the public about what he thinks is important. And he's doing it in clear, forceful, but understandable terms. I'm not asking you to agree. I'm simply saying contrast the behavior of choose your fighter. I mean, this was a TikTok trend 2 years ago. What the fuck are you idiots doing? And then you're like, oh my God, dude. Oh my God. And again, going back to Hakeem Jeffries, what leverage do we have? Quit, you coward loser bitch. Quit. Get the out of here. That's the best you can do. I have no soap to wash my hands for supper. Get the out of here. Leave. You. They are cowards and failures and pathetic weaklings to the bone. I wish my political adversaries were so pathetic. I wish. They're not. They're quite forceful. Actually, it's a completely different ballgame. And by the way, like, did you see the Axios report on this? There was this big.
There's barely an ounce of truth to what he's saying, but like remember. The reason why it's always going to be harder for the Democrats to fight is it's like you're playing a game of League of Legends and one of the guys is inting on your team and your goal is to win the game and the other guy's goal is to just have a good time, right? It's always going to be 1,000,000,000,000 times harder for you to actually win than it is for the other guy to succeed. He's got an easier mission. Republicans literally do not give a fuck if they destroy every corner of this country, whether you're talking the Constitution, whether you're talking established laws and norms, whether you're talking the economy, whether you're talking people's lives, whatever. Republicans will shred everything. So Democrats have to navigate in a way where they're winning on this PR front, which I agree they need to do a better job at doing. But like, there's actually right and wrong things that Democrats can do. There's never a wrong thing that Republicans can do. We just saw it, right? Trump gets clapped and applauded for raising tariffs to 25%, and then he gets applauded for lowering tariffs to 10%, and then he gets applauded for, like, there's literally every single thing he does is epic and amazing, and it's just challenging perspective to be. It's a very challenging thing to be on the left where you're still trying to make headway on the public messaging, but you're also not trying to just like crash this plane with no survive.
Big consultant class powwow that took place privately where the Dems came up with a great new strategy to fight back, and all of it was like discounting small donor donation. It was moving to the right on like a series of issues, like no forceful vision for a different way to think about anything.
Also, just I trigger my own audience. For people that like suck off Bernie, these people don't have the interests of the party in mind. They don't have the interests of political power in mind. They're just like idealistic people that they either end up voting for Trump or they just don't vote at all. The super huge like Bernie suck offs don't give a fuck about actually winning any elections. They're not giving you advice to win elections. They're just giving you advice for like ultra progressive candidates to win. They refuse to acknowledge reality. They refuse to acknowledge where the electorate is at, and their answer for everything is always be more progressive, be more progressive, be more progressive. That's always the answer with these guys. Don't listen to them. They don't have good advice for you. They don't like Bernie has really good energy. Bernie's really good stage presence. I'll never deny that. Bernie's obviously really good at that. But the people that like follow him, Bernie surrounds himself with probably some of the worst people that have been produced in the U.S. political system. People like Brianna Joy Gray, people that fell off him and related to like the Majority Report or I don't remember if anybody on the Majority Report actually worked with his campaign directly. I don't remember if Emma did or didn't. Maybe she didn't. But like everybody that came from and found and fell away around him was just like, it's just not good. Yeah, be careful.
We're just going to do what they're doing, but diet version of it.
Oh yeah,
and of course, you saw how that worked out for Kamala in the election. We're like, oh yeah, we're going to get neocons on stage with us. Like Liz Cheney, wasn't this going to go?
Like people are so eager to point this out. Well, it didn't work for Kamala. It didn't work for basically every candidate around the world for any incumbent party. But you know who it did work for? It worked for Biden in 2020, and he beat Trump. It did work for Biden. You know who it didn't work for? Didn't work for Bernie, who lost in the primary in 2016. Didn't work for Bernie, who lost in the primary in 2020. And it did work for Biden, who won in 2020, right? So like, it's these people that they don't have the best interest of winning elections or helping the party in mind. It's always just they're uber ultra populist / progressive, and they just want to see their particular agenda pushed. And if it's not, then they're unplugged and they are disinterested from political conversation. Period.
You saw how that worked out for Kamala in the election. We're like, oh yeah, we're going to get neocons on stage with us. Like Liz Cheney, this is going to go great for us. And of course, it was a disaster for them, a total disaster for them. This is what I mean, dude. They're pathetic. They're losers to their core. Their whole strategy is to just what they think is going to happen, not without good reason on some level, because just the history of the 2 years after the initial presidency. They're just waiting. They're just waiting for Trump.
Like people will say that they're losers. It didn't work for Kamala. You know what it worked for? You know what Kamala did in Vermont? Kamala outperformed Bernie Sanders in his home state. Kamala got a higher share of the vote. Harris plus 32%, Sanders plus 31%. Like she outperformed Bernie in his own state. Okay, so get the out of here with we just need to copy Bernie's rhetoric, even though he's lost all the primaries and is relatively politically ineffective as a politician. He's got good aura, I agree. He's got good stage presence, but that's about it. We don't need to be taking policy notes from somebody who is nationally an electoral loser when it comes to the presidency, and when the messaging from the progressives has been a loser electorally time and time again.
Or in the administration to, do something to make the public sour on them and then cash in the next set of midterm elections. That's their whole bit, to just play, get fucked, and then hopefully by the time 2 years comes around, everyone in their estimation will just be so sick of the other side that they'll just pick them right up. They have no competing vision. They have no competing strategy. They have no courage. They're just diet Republicans.
See, like again, it's do you really think? I know there's like the word that like you Bernie dick sucks like to use against me now. Do you really think standard neoliberal candidates can win in the current political climate environment, especially with MAGA controlling social media? You know who can't win? Bernie Sanders. You know how we know that? Because we've seen it over and over and over again. So whatever doesn't work, maybe whatever stuff that Biden won on and that Kamala lost by a point on, maybe that can't work. But you know what definitely doesn't work is Bernie's messaging. We know that for sure doesn't work. So however much you think that, do you think the standard messaging can work? Maybe, maybe not. But however much you think that can't work, Bernie's doubly can't work. So
that's it. That's all they are. And it's like, this is an alternative version of how things should be. You're going to argue for a different way in which we could approach these issues, and you're going to argue the merits of it, or you're just going to agree to the framing of your political adversaries' worldview and then just kind of slightly tweak it. Who the fuck is that for? Who the fuck is that for? Again, I'm not asking anyone to agree. I'm simply saying, dude, if you're right wing, how do you not look at the political adversaries, the major party, and not laugh at these idiots? And then at the State of the Union, did you see him holding up those cards? They're holding up the card, like, they're just holding up the cards, like Musk, I'm down with Musk, or no to, whatever. Looked like you were doing fucking a silent auction for something.
That's true. That was cucked, but Bernie didn't do anything either, to be fair.
And then the response was like, well, Reagan would never have done this. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. They're pathetic. They are losers to the bone, cowards to the bone. I would rather them put a different competing vision that they could argue for, that they would believe in. Again, something like what Bernie does, right? And then if they lose, they lose. But that's not what they do. They're diet Republicans. That's what they are. And that's why they're losers. Because the right wing only wants their own party. Why the do they want a diet version of it? And I don't want a diet version of it. So who is that for? Who is that for? Loser.
How do you account for how progressive ballot measures often win in red states, such as minimum wage, weed, etc., or AOC's electoral success? I'm not even answering your question because it's so retarded. Progressive ballot measures like weed? The out of here, dipshit.
Losers. Coward, pathetic losers. They have absolutely lost my confidence. I didn't have much to begin with. Let's be very clear about that. But to the extent I had any, they have extinguished it. They are a pathetic, gerontocratic party of do-nothing losers. And that is why they are in the state that they are in. That is why their political adversaries control everything, because they're losers.
Like this guy is like fully swallowed gallons of the conservative propaganda, like do nothing losers. Like that's the definition of the Republican Party. They do nothing. Trump has ruled exclusively by executive fiat. He can't do anything in Congress. He had no major legislative victories besides the tax cuts, which increased the deficit during his administration. His handling of COVID was horrible. He's botched every promise that he came into office promising. He's botched so far. He's made empty threats towards Hamas that they didn't respect. We've yo-yoed back and forth on these tariffs over and over and over again. We've seen weaponization of the DOJ and the federal government like we've never seen in all of history. This motherfucker's been on TV every single day. Still nothing. No comprehensive immigration reform. No closer to solving Ukraine, Russia. Losing favor with every single world leader. But somehow the do-nothing Democrats, like, what do they need to do? Like, just say that you need like a clown or somebody who's like got an even oranger face to come out and dance for you because that's what makes you happy and giggle.
Sydney says, do you think a young lady considering joining the military should have any concerns based on their gender? Look at me very, very, very closely and carefully. Yes is the answer. I would never let my daughter join the Marine Corps. I mean, ultimately, I cannot stop her. It is her choice. And if she really wanted to join, I would encourage her to join the officer ranks versus the enlisted. There are better ways to do that. Your gender absolutely matters to how your career will go and how you will be viewed and what could happen to you in the military. 1000%. If I were you, I would take that into strong consideration, both in terms of what branch you join and what MOS you ultimately select. Aussie says, have you ever asked for an autograph?
What did that mean? What?
Asked for memorabilia from anyone you met? No, I've never asked for an autograph in my whole life. Please no boss. Got any movies or TV shows that you want to cross off?
Unlike Biden, who codified Roe v. Wade. Oh, wait a minute. Sorry, that didn't happen. Oh, yeah. I forgot that Biden could pass legislation on his own. True. You got me, dude. Based. Nice. Good job, man. You owned that one. Ownage. Absolute carnage, dude. You dominated that point. That was a sick argument. Oh, you just destroyed my whole argument with that. Good one.
More opportunity than somebody who came where I come from could ever dream of. We are done with this. And it is time for a new America.
Okay, I mean, Mesa, I can see you sort of grimacing as you heard some of that, but the reality is a lot of Americans do share that view now. They do look at the way that NATO is funded. They look at the disproportionate contribution that America makes. They look at the fact that most of Europe has been way behind on even its basic defense spending. And they think, well, if you're not even prepared to defend yourselves properly or stump up enough for your NATO membership, why should we keep bailing you out? I have a lot of sympathy with that view. What do you think?
I think Europe does need to spend more on its defense. There is some concerns that the Americans have always had that absolutely are justified. However, one of the points your guest made a second ago was that America is done being taken advantage of, and you're going to see a new face to America. What we're effectively seeing is a new policy of isolationism, a policy in Ukraine of surrender, quite frankly, whereby the United States, alongside its Europe.
By the way, if there's any pro-pallies listening to me, hold on real quick. Sorry to say it, dude, but Biden wasn't it either. You can't hate on Bernie bros when Biden was a bumbling, barely coherent dude on death's door. Guess what Biden did, though? He won his election. Sorry, bud. If you're a pro-Palestinian or propaganda person or online or whatever, and you're trying to like brainwash people, if you want to brainwash me, if you want to make me hate Israel with the fire of 1,000 suns, I don't know if I actually know her position 100%, but if you find me people that are pro-Israel and anti-Ukraine, that will be the quickest way to turn me into an anti-Semite. I will be the most virulent anti-Semitic ally that you could ever possibly have. If you find me, especially if they're Israeli or Jewish, if you find me people that are pro-Israel, anti-defense of Ukraine, that's the number one path. That is the number one path to, bro, I will get a Hitler stash transplant, okay, into my face, and I will embrace whatever Reich I need to hate these people.
European allies were supporting an innocent country that's been brutally invaded by another state, and for the minimal amount of investment, not only devastated that strategic enemy's military reserves, and actually they are now much weaker because of this attack on Ukraine, but did it at a very affordable price. There are much greater powers around this world, the rise of China, etc., that will also threaten the United States. America, Reagan said it best when he said, you can have peace tomorrow, all you've got to do is surrender. And the big problem I've got with Trump at the moment and his administration is that he's...
Why does the Bonger know what America should be doing more than any of these? I know he's gonna have the best position on this panel. Kill me, bro. Why is he a Bonger? Why is he's quoting Reagan at these guys? And oh god, I already know this guy's gonna be unhinged. The Vinny guy from PBK. This lady is paid for by Putin. I don't know who this guy is. Maybe he'll be based, and I don't think I know who she is. Maybe she'll be based.
He's pursuing this goal of isolationism, of trashing relationships, long-standing relationships with allies such as Britain, France, Canada, Mexico, that will not only damage America's economy, but much more importantly, its soft power, its ability to exert its influence around the world, which is a major part of how they will counter the rise of countries like China. The big part of America, the future of America, is to show the world that liberty, democracy, freedom matter, and that the rise of China and the rise of Russia that wants to pollute the world with their autocracy and their evil can be countered by America's history and its solid foundation. So that is something that I think Trump needs to remember, because at the moment we're going down a very bad path.
Well, it's interesting you mentioned China. Hang on, Betty, hang on, I'm going to come to you. Betty, hang on. I want to read a quote from the Chinese embassy in Washington. Well, it's interesting you mentioned China. Hang on, Betty, hang on, I'm going to come to you. Betty, hang on.
Your problem's not with Donald Trump, it's with the American people. Okay.
Hang on, I want to read a quote from the Chinese embassy in Washington today, which posted on X, if war is what the US wants, be it a tariff war, a trade war, or any other type of war, we're ready to fight till the end. So there's a lot of saber rattling coming from China there in relation to, as Mesa just pointed out. In that context, does that make you rethink slightly the way that Trump should be playing this?
First of all, your problem is not with Trump. It's with the American people. 78% of Americans want this war negotiated and peace right now. So that your problem is that Donald Trump is reflecting the will of the people, which I grant you is very strange for an American president. You know, certainly wasn't at the top of Joe Biden's agenda, but it is at the top of Donald Trump's agenda. When 78% of my fellow Americans want something, they should freaking get it. And that is what we're seeing right now is the victory of democracy. You vote for a person, he does what you ask. Pierce, to your question about Xi Jinping, it's a great question. You know, another autocrat dictator who somehow the Democrats have no problem making common cause with and capitulating to all the time. Guess who would be a really good ally in a fight against China?
It's how much money does she get paid? I just want to know how much she gets paid. She's going to say Vladimir Putin, Russia.
Russia.
I want to know how much she gets paid. I just want to know how much she gets paid. I'm just curious. Is it as much as Tim Pool got paid? Is still getting paid? Almost certainly.
That used to be the Democrats' position. That was Barack Obama's position in 2012. And when Mitt Romney told him that Russia is the greatest geopolitical threat to the United States, Obama laughed in his face and said the 1980s called, they want their foreign policy back.